In this video, we're gonna build a real Dog Day animatronic that's hanging from a wall with no legs.
We're Jaimie and Jay, and we bring your favorite monsters to life. After we built Catnap, it was pretty obvious who y'all wanted us to build next, so let's do it.
Dog Day is one of the characters from Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, and in the game, Catnap imprisons him in like this jail cell kind of thing, and that's the scene we're gonna recreate. Today, the challenge is to build Dog Day completely from scratch, but also we're gonna use pneumatics instead of motors for his movement, which we've never done before.
Yay! First though, the plan.
Step one, we're actually gonna work with an engineer to build a huge steel endoskeleton because this thing is gonna be very big.
Next, we're gonna build a giant wall to hang him from and make it look just like the jail cell.
From there, we're gonna build him a body and his giant creepy head, and then finally, we're gonna learn how to use a prop controller to create his animation.
We were just at a huge Halloween trade show called Trans World where they had some of the craziest animatronics, and they had some hanging props that definitely gave us a Dog Day vibe.
So our buddy Mike has a company called Hallucinations Creations, and they make animatronic mechs that are designed to put your own monster on top of. They've got a ton of different mechs like kicking feet and ground breakers and fence thrashers, just awesome stuff.
So we called him up, figured out a design for Dog Day, and he got started right away.
While we wait on that, let's start building the set. That is a big wall.
This is just one of them, there's gonna be 3.
What?
What I'm building here is called a flat, which is essentially a fake wall. It's the same way you'd build walls for like a film set or a theater show or even a haunted house.
Why do we keep doing this to ourselves?
We keep building these giant things. We're gonna need a bigger garage soon. So the next step is we have to stand them up and we're gonna bolt them together to create like the mega wall, but we're gonna do it backwards so that you guys can actually see it.
These don't fit in our garage, by the way. They hit the lights.
Who measured this? Oh man. Ta-da! You're gonna paint this whole thing, right?
Yes, we're gonna paint it to look like Dog Day's jail cell, but first I think we should wait till the mech gets here so we can test it out and make sure like nothing needs to change.
It's big enough, right?
I hope so. It can't get any bigger than this.
Look what we got. We got a thing.
Is that what I think it is? Wow.
That's the top.
Okay.
So his arms.
Wait, here we go. This is
Look at
awesome.
Now you see why we had to make the wall so big, because look, here, hold it up. Well, okay, it didn't need to be quite that big.
Mostly that big.
Well, we'll have plenty of space. I'm taking apart this old IKEA furniture because basically these are gonna go up on the top of the wall and then they have these holes in them already and he'll hang from there. I saved this piece of wood for so long, you guys, because I knew someday we'd use these.
Look at this. We are the worst hoarders. Are you really gonna hang from that?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. You ready?
Okay. Ah! Okay.
I weigh way more than Dog Day's gonna weigh, so I think we're clear. Plus he's gonna have other straps too. So that's good, right?
Yes.
All right, we got some climbing carabiners to hook this on for our test anyway. Here we go.
Okay. Awesome.
So these go up like this somewhere,
Uh-huh.
and like
Somewhere like here. I think there's a problem. This hook needs to be over here. If this is hanging and these are going, he's just gonna be waving.
so when the pistons go, he's just gonna be like, "Hey guys,
Ah.
you gotta leave play care."
But if it's on this side, then it'll pull.
I did tell him to put it on that side.
It's almost there. Okay, I think this is gonna work. So this goes down, which pulls him over. And then when this one pulls over, he'll pull to the other side and he'll just keep pulling. Okay, now we're gonna hook everything up and test it for real.
Everything's hooked up, but before we turn it on, I wanna show you guys how this stuff even works. So these things right here are called cylinders, and when air comes through these tubes, it either opens or closes the cylinder, and that's how this whole thing moves. So it all starts down here with the air compressor, which compresses the air and sends it through this hose, which goes all the way up to here. The air comes into a regulator, which controls the pressure, and then from there, we split it into these 3 solenoids. These are what determine if the air cylinder is out or in. They're basically like switches. Switch it one way, the cylinder pushes open. Switch it the other way, the cylinder pushes back closed. That's why there's 2 air hoses coming out of each one. The solenoids also go into a prop controller, which lets us animate and record everything. We'll get more into this later, but let's test it first.
Are we ready?
I think so. You ready?
Oh my goodness, yes.
That'll be his head.
Yay!
That is so cool. I'm not gonna lie, I was worried it was gonna look kind of dumb, but I'm real excited. That was so cool. And everything held up too. Like it's just, yes, all right. Next, build him, I guess?
We can move forward, yeah.
Time to build Dog Day.
To make Dog Day's body, we're essentially creating like a 3D wireframe in real life. So we've made these, and these are gonna go like around his torso. These things are going to help hold them up. And then once we put all these on, we'll put some cross wires on and duct tape. All right, Dog Day has a nice round shape. I think I'm really happy with this. I was gonna put wire on his arms too to make that shape, but I've got some leftover foam and I think I'm gonna use this on the arms instead. I can just wrap it around there.
So you may have noticed I cut this piece off, which used to be right here, and we put new ones on, and I actually just made them smaller. They used to be sticking way down, but I think this is pretty good, so we can just carry this all the way down.
That was like the worst duct tape job.
We're all intensely judging your duct taping skills.
Please don't. And now he has arms. What you doing?
Do you remember on Catnap when you said this?
I'm never carving something like this big again.
Yes, and I meant it.
Well, I think I found a solution for you. I've been working with our modeler friend to create a super good model of Dog Day's head that we can 3D print. Because the skeleton is made of metal on this one, we don't have to worry about the weight as much. So if we 3D print a huge thing, it'll hopefully be okay. Problem though is that it's so big we have to split it into like 10 or 12 different parts to fit on our printer, and it's gonna take forever to actually print it.
Hey, but at least we won't be covered in pink foam dust for a week.
Yeah, there is that. That's really good. This is cool.
Yeah, it is.
Everything still moves freely. These have plenty of space. What do we do next? There's like so much. There's the head, there's the hands, there's the fur. We got to paint this huge wall.
Ooh, let's do that next.
Yeah.
This color of green is called bold avocado.
That looks really cool. Takes a while though, huh?
It does.
Because you know, you only have to do a lot of them.
I wasn't too sure about this wall at first, but it's definitely growing on me. The dirtier we get it, the more I love it. Next is one of the most fun parts, I think. We're gonna take some black paint, water it down, and just splatter it on there, because behind Dog Day is like just big black splatter splotch. Something bad happened there.
Splatter splotch?
Yeah.
There's paint on the ceiling and all over the walls. This is
And my
messy.
hair.
And your But I think we're finally done with this giant wall. It's been, what, 4 days? I think?
Yes, but
something like
I
that.
love it now.
Which is good also because all the 3D printing of the head is done, so we can finally put that together.
Yay!
As expected, 3D printing Dog Day's head took a long time. Our Bamboo Labs printer is really fast, but even so, it's been going non-stop for the past 5 days. The filament we're using is this really nice autumn orange PLA Plus that we got from 3D Fuel. It's incredibly rigid and really easy to print. Also, they make it about 10 minutes from our house, which we love. Authentic, farm-to-table, Texas-grown filament. Even though Dog Day is from a game and already has a 3D model, you can't just rip it out of the game and print it. So, we called our friend Beardless Props and commissioned him to make us a custom model of Dog Day's head specifically for printing as an animatronic. After sculpting the shape, he hollowed it all out, split it into 10 different parts that would fit our printer. He added custom mounting holes to fit our mechanism, and even an access panel in the back. This should kind of be like putting Legos together, I hope. We got a couple extra parts. We've got these things, which are braces that go on the inside. We've also got these tiny little plastic pegs. They go in these little holes to help align everything. So we got all this stuff. We got some super glue. Let's do this. I love how it all just lines up. These are basically like little mini trusses, and they're gonna brace the inside, which is gonna connect the mounting plate to the side of the head, because it's so big that once it starts moving around, we don't want it to just like snap in half. Yes, that was a lot of pieces. Yeah. Okay, there's one final piece. See on the back here? This is gonna be our access panel. And we got this little piece and we glued in some magnets so it should fit. Aha. So like I can reach in there. This is how we're gonna actually screw it down to the base. And then once that's done, pop like that. I do think we should test it next though. Just like we did with Catnap, like before we do all the fur and the paint, like let's make sure it works. So to put the head on, there's this mounting hole right here, which fits perfectly on here, and then we just gotta bolt everything together. Okay. We might need to actually take him down and bolt this on the table. Okay, we got the head bolted on. Oh, shh, this is so heavy. All right, you got that?
Yeah. Okay.
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 That's on there.
Okay.
What happens if you let go? Oh boy.
Well, he's flying now. Well,
Shoot. All right, well, let's get the arms on.
okay.
Oh, even worse. Okay.
That's not right. How do we, maybe?
On the bright side, I mean, look at this. It's on. Can we just hang a weight from...
We can sure try.
All right, we spent most of yesterday trying to figure out how to solve this, and I think we got it working pretty good. So the first thing we did is we moved the whole thing further away from the wall, and now with the weight we put on it, there's this big space back here. There was so much friction with it smushed against the wall that it was making it really hard to move. Another thing we tried is if you look back here, there's this eye bolt, and we put it behind him, and I tried to basically attach the neck right here to the eye bolt to kind of hold him upright, which worked, except now he was tied to the wall, so he still wouldn't move, so that didn't really fix the problem. Finally, what really did it was we put the third set of straps up here for the wrists, and now when the arm tries to move, it kind of gets stuck and it pulls the body back and forth. So between moving him out and adding the straps, everything's working pretty nicely now. It's crazy to me that that thing doesn't just fly off and break. I mean, this is so fun.
With a project like Dog Day, we're doing a lot of things for the first time, like pneumatics and building a giant wall. There are a lot of steps to keep track of, and it can easily get overwhelming. To help us work through that is the sponsor of today's video, Day One Journal, the #1 journaling app on the Apple App Store. There are studies that have proven that writing down your goals has a huge impact on your actually achieving them. With Day One Journal, we can create lists of our day-to-day tasks, keep track of progress, and we've found that especially on these massive builds, it's had a big effect on our productivity. Einstein used to say, never memorize what you can look up. And for us, that means when you write it down, it clears up space in your mind for other things. But it's not just about productivity. With Day One Journal, you can capture your memories and feelings, brainstorm ideas, or even keep a dream journal. And with premium features like being able to add video, audio, drawings, even importing from Instagram, the possibilities are endless. Try Day One Journal today. Go to dayoneapp.com/wickedmakers and use the code wickedmakers to unlock a limited time offer of a 2-month free trial of Day One Premium. That's DAYONE app.com/wickedmakers and see why it's the best journaling app out there. Okay, so this is the fur we got for Dog Day. The brown is for his ears, and the yellow's for his belly, and the orange... Where's
the orange?
Where is the orange?
Hey, there's Dog Day.
It is.
Oh, Luna.
What are you doing with my fur?
Before we actually put this on though, I'm gonna put a thin layer of batting on the body. Batting is like a squishy, foamy stuff, and it'll just kind of help soften the curves. So this is batting, and it's basically what you put inside of a quilt or a blanket to make it fluffy. You know, I think I'm gonna make a pattern for this. I don't have a lot of orange fur, and I was gonna pin it and drape it and cut it, but the pattern's gonna be way more efficient and exact, and I want it to be form-fitting, so pattern time. I like to cut out my fur from the backside with a razor instead of scissors. That way you don't cut all of these little fibers and make short, tiny fibers. Okay, I have a minor creative issue. The zipper on his belly is a pretty prominent part of his costume, but the traditional way you put a zipper in is you put the fabric like over the zipper edges, but if I do that, we're gonna lose the zipper.
Oh, it's like hidden behind all the fur?
It's gonna be hidden behind all the long fur, and you're never gonna see the zipper. So, what if we just put the zipper like on top of the fur, like that? Maybe I can trim this so it's not quite as wide, but like it's on top.
That seems fine to me.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
While Jaimie's finishing up the arms, I'm gonna get the head ready. Now, most of this is gonna be covered in fur, except for the inside of the mouth and the eyes. And because we got these weird seams here, I'm gonna use some Bondo putty to fill those in. Okay, we sanded off the Bondo and everything is smooth, ready to paint. Now, if you watched the Catnap video, we found the blackest paint in the world, and that's what we used to paint the eyes and the inside of the mouth. And that works so good, we're just gonna do the same exact thing. The paint is called Musso Black. It's freaking awesome. We'll put a link to it in the description. But basically it just hides everything. It's so dark that little scratches and marks and stuff, they'll never show up. I just realized I forgot to prime this first. There's no primer. But it's like, I don't know, it still looks pretty good. I'm gonna let this dry for a second, then do the eyes.
All right, it's time to fur this puppy. Now, when I did Catnap,
This puppy?
this puppy.
I see what you did there.
When I did Catnap, I just laid the fur on top of it and glued and like pinched it and like kind of more winged it. But since Dog Day has like the 3 different colors, he's got the different mouth and eyes, I want to make a pattern and be a little more exact with this one. I think I'm gonna just use hot glue to glue this stuff on. The downside of hot glue is if you live somewhere really hot like us, it will maybe one day melt if you store it outside, but we're just not gonna do that, so it'll be fine.
Ah, that looks amazing.
So fluffy.
But he's like, it looks like he has a beard though. He's way too long.
Yes, I think we're gonna have to trim it, mainly like around here and in his eyes. Just a little bit of scissor cutting. Like we wanted him shaggy, but just not this shaggy. He looks so much better. He can see now. There's a little bit more tweaking I think we'll wanna do, but for now, I wanna move on to the rest of the head. All right, Dog Day has huge ears and they're floppy, but they're also not. At the top of his ear, they're very structured and they perk up. So to make those, we're gonna use some foam, and then I'm gonna put some wire in my foam, that way I can adjust it.
He finally looks like a dog and not like a weird frog or something.
Yeah, and look, that's a good amount of floppage, but
Yeah.
it's stable up here.
Floppy, but not.
That's right.
We made his eyes almost the exact same way as Catnap with these clear ornaments that we sanded and painted. The only real difference is we wired up some custom LEDs this time and glued them in from the inside of the head.
The last piece of his face is his nose, and I want to make it shiny. Usually when we do shiny stuff, I'll just put like a gloss over it or even like clear nail polish sometimes, but we've seen north of the border and a bunch of other YouTubers use UV resin a ton of times and it always looks awesome, so we're gonna try it.
We have horrible luck with resin. Anything resin.
We do. It's not a good fit for the shop here, but wait, that's not even the right thing to take off.
Good start.
Oh my God.
This does not bode well.
It's fine. Time to cure it. You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, that looks like perfect.
It's very shiny. It's so shiny.
That was so easy.
That's amazing.
Look how good that looks. It honestly came out like perfect. And took, what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, love it. Now that the nose is on, we can do some final trimming up around here, make him even. He finally looks like a dog. I love him so much. He's so cool. No, Catnap, no.
The prototype is his god, and this is what he does to heretics.
To make Dog Day's giant hands, first we cut out a template with cardboard, then we transferred that pattern onto some material, traced around it, and then sewed the seam together. We cut around the edges and then flipped it inside out, and now we have a glove. Next we made a wire skeleton to go inside and help us pose it, and then we're gonna stuff all the rest of it with some polyfill. This is not the right color. It's supposed to match his ears, so luckily, we happen to have some spray paint that's a pretty good match. So I'm gonna try spray painting them. Okay, there's a pretty big difference here. I'm happy with how this turned out. So we will go and spray paint this one.
Now that we got the head and the hands put on, I want to show you guys something. So the reason we made the ears floppy is, watch this. As the head moves, the ears just flop around. There's no motor or anything inside them, but because they're floppy, they just move. And in animation, we call that secondary motion. So this thing is called a prop controller. This one's made by Purgatory Props, and we're gonna be using it to control Dog Day, but it can also be used to control any of your props, like your lights or your effects or your animatronics. It basically lets you push these buttons to control a bunch of things and record animation without needing a computer to do any programming and stuff like that. So in record mode, I can just press these buttons to record as much animation as I want. I can also hook up like speakers and have it play sounds and things like that. And when you've recorded what you want, you can actually trigger it. So I could use like a push button to trigger it. You can use a motion sensor, anything like that. They're honestly super easy to use and a lot of fun. Thanks to Purgatory Props for sending us this one. We'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out.
So just like Catnap has a big gold moon on his zipper pull, Dog Day has a sun. Only when he's in the game and he's on the wall, the sun is not there.
You need to get out of this place.
But it does appear as soon as he drops down and starts chasing you. So we asked Mob, and they confirmed with us that it should have been there when he was hanging on the wall, so we're gonna make him one. So we 3D printed the sun, and now we're gonna paint it. And we're gonna gold leaf it in the center, because that worked great before. The wind is what's getting it. There's too much wind in here because we're indoors and wind.
There's no wind in here.
The air conditioner.
The fact that in like 30 seconds it became that is just crazy.
It's so cool. Dog Day is almost all put together, but there's one more thing we have to do, the details. Once upon a time, he was clean and bright like this, but he has been hanging on this wall for a really long time. So we're gonna make him dirty and gross.
On every project we make, we try to make sure there's something we've never done before so that you guys get to learn alongside us, and this time it was pneumatics. Before this, I honestly had no idea how it worked, but now that we've done it, it's unlocked like this whole new category of stuff we can make that's even bigger and crazier.
We can't go any bigger. We're already hitting the ceiling.
Anyway, the point is, don't be afraid to try new things. You might fail sometimes, but you'll always gain some XP, and every once in a while, you'll level up.
Our wicked shout out this week goes to Sawyer and Sadie, who are currently building a zombie werewolf on the moon, which just sounds awesome.
I hope you guys liked this one as much as we did. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, stay wicked.
You're Poppy's angel. Come to save us. Nothing left to save. Not here. Or at Catnap's home, Angel. Their home. A myriad pairs of eyes are on you now. Watching. Waiting. Hungry. I am the last of the smiling critters. Listen to me. You need to get out of this place. You and Poppy can fix this. End this madness. No. No. Leave me. Please. Just go. Run.
Yeah.
All right, but now what are we gonna do with this? It just lives here now.